All right, let's see. Comments. All right, y'all. What's going on, man? I appreciate all y'all that's tuning in. Tonight I'm gonna be talking about black love being under attack. Um, and all the obstacles that it takes to have a healthy relationship as a black couple. Um, what's going on, James? I appreciate the love, man. Anybody tuning in, man, I appreciate all the love. Make sure y'all hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Those of y'all that may not be that familiar with YouTube, you should be seeing the comments on the left, but there should be an X. If you hit the X by the comments, it'll drop the screen down, and you'll be able to see the like button and the subscribe button. So help me gain some traction on YouTube, so I can because Instagram is has been really limited. Like I just said, I've been banned from going live for like a couple of months, so that's why y'all haven't really been seeing me that often. But tonight I saw a video, and I actually reposted it on my IGTV. But I wanted to talk about it because I can relate to what it takes to make black love better than most. Um, Me and my wife have been together almost 20 years. This fall will make 20 years that we've actually been kicking it. We started kicking it. We didn't actually become um, a couple until 2002. So we've been romantically involved and seriously dating each other for almost 20 years. Next month will be 17 years that we've been married. And so when you think about what it takes for a black couple to survive in a relationship, um, you have to look at what it means to be black in America. That means that in comparison to other ethnic groups, you're going to make less salary. You're going to have less opportunities. It's going to There are going to be limitations on where you can live and what you can do, etc. And so all that has to be taken into consideration because we live in a life where everybody spend the same money. Everybody go to the same restaurants. Everybody want to go to vacation at the same places. And so your resources in order to take care of you and your family and provide a lifestyle is diminished if you're black in America. There are countless studies that show, compared to our peers, black men and women make significantly less. Even in a lot of cases, we're superior employees, or we were the first company. Like it's just the way that white supremacy and racism has been embedded. That's what we mean when we talk about systematic oppression. Things that just, even if you do everything right, you make less. It takes you longer to get promoted. It's harder. You know what I'm saying? Like there are just obstacles and things that make it more difficult to have day to day life, and those things impact your relationships because a lot of statistics show that the biggest reasons that couples break up are finances and cheating, right? Well, making less and not having opportunities to be able to get a good job, that can cause men and women to have friction. And essentially, that's one of the main reasons that the state of black love is in critical condition now. Because like let before I go further, let me play the video that I'm talking about real quick that I want to elaborate on. It's not that long. It's about a minute and a half. Let's listen.
And the only person to take out that frustration on is the person that's right next to you.
Right. And the kids.
I do feel social media push that even further
Yeah.
because now you can see like how other people are living, right? So that adds to the frustration. Cause like, oh, why did they living like that? Why can't we? You know what I mean?
We was talking about that earlier about how the government came and incentivized women to not have the man in the home, and you know what I mean, because
Which they still today.
yeah, because of the lack of men that weren't able to provide the money, the government came in, provided that money for them, and now it's like, well, I don't need you per se because I'm getting supported.
If they don't show that that man is not in the house, then you're not going to get. You know what I mean?
That's what it was,
These
yeah.
jobs. The men so the women had to try to figure out how to support them. I mean, it was bad where they would come in and see if you had male clothing in your house. And if you did, they would cut you
your
off.
money off.
When you see those things, how does it make a man feel? Like, I can't even be represented in my home. I can't provide for you. You know what? Fine. Let me just go out here and do other things, and let's just be a pharmacist. Okay?
Either we sell it or we smoke it. Like, you know what I mean? That was the option.
So what everything that they said is very real. So it created the circumstances for men to be comfortable not living in the household with their children. It created it incentivized women to kick men out their houses, where dads had to go fend for themselves, for lack of a better terms, because they weren't getting free apartments, they weren't getting food stamps, they were having to live with their parents or live with a family member, or or be literally homeless. A lot of guys would go to the military and do things like that to try to find a way to have their basic needs met. But before that, you also have to take a look at how much slavery impacted black life in America and the divide between black men and women, because essentially that's primarily where it started, because there was a lot of things that were intentionally done to change the way that black women view black men and to disrupt the natural dynamic of the black family. And so largely, if you study any slavery, if you read any books on slavery, you'll see that one of the first things that they would do is referred to as buck breaking. But it was a way that they emasculated men. It was a way that they used to control the other men and women that were on the plantation. But they would take the biggest, strongest man, black man, tie him up, and they would rape him in front of his woman, in front of his children, in front of everybody, to take away his manhood, to take away his dignity, and to show everybody that he was powerless to defend himself. And so what that really did was disrupted the mindset and the perspective that black women had of black men. Whereas white women could always look to white men as their protector, their provider, etc. There's never been anything to disrupt that. Black women don't have that same perspective of black men. And that relates, that it contributes to a lot of the chaotic relationships and dysfunctional relationships we have with men and women. And then when you add on top of that, the segregation, the stress that come with dealing with police brutality and racism and living in poverty, all these things that are designed to put you in poverty. Like they said in the video, when you're frustrated with your life and your well-being, the only people you can take it out on are the people that are around you. The only way that you can really cope with it is through drugs and alcohol. So that's the part of the reason that turn up party culture comes from the hood, is because these people are trying to escape how miserable their lives are, how miserable their outlook on life is. They're turning up, they're partying because they don't know when they're gonna die. And so all that comes into play when you're talking about black love, because your family unit is a vehicle that is designed to take care of everybody long term. That's why you have things like estate planning, trust, life insurance, etc. Because if one family unit gets it right and they do something significant, they put the right things in place, that the wealth that they create can roll over and take care of future generations. That's why we see the big push for generational wealth. Now, for a lot of people, mistake that as getting into a position where you can buy designer and ride a Rolls Royce, but that's not essentially what that means. You know, generational wealth means making sure that when you pass away, when you die, you are leaving something behind that's going to be able to generate wealth for your or income for your future generations, and hopefully will make your worth that you had while you were alive will grow exponentially once you die. You know, it's funny because I think now that I'm a public figure and an author and things of that nature, and I'm getting more business savvy, I talk about stuff like this with my friends. You know, like what's gonna happen once I die. Like once I die, I would not be surprised if all my books hit the bestseller list and everybody talk about how much they love me and how thankful they was for my advice. Like y'all know the routine when somebody pass away, how social media do, how the world responds to it. And so that's a benefit of generational wealth. And so if you do have a strong family that can that's not constantly breaking up, that's not constantly beefing or doing things to disrespect one another, that's not having the type of clashes that we see other people have, especially in the black community. Um, we have other struggles like they mentioned in the video. Social media, you know, people seeing how other people live and seeing their wanting to live their lifestyle based off a fraction of their life that they see them portray on social media. And obviously, there are people that go out of their way to portray themselves as living bigger, better, being happier, everything being fancier. Like they put on an air for social media. Um, and for some people that can't really tell the difference, it creates real jealousy. It creates real tension and division between actual couples where like they said they're comparing what they saw somebody else get for Christmas or get for their birthday, or they looking at Jada and little baby what they buy each other for Christmas. I mean, and do for one another, and they actually compare they regular spouse to that. They actually come with the mentality that we should be able to just buy everything we want to, even though they know that they're not rich. They know that they're not on the same level as these celebrities that they use. So when we're talking about black love, though, if you look at the marriage rates, they're lower across the board for blacks, and you know, hip hop culture contributes to it, because it seems like there's this push to pit men and women against one another. You know, a family is a team. It's a unit. You are pooling your resources together for the better benefit of everybody, not just you, for you, your kids, and hopefully their kids. But the way that things are framed in society is like on social media, even in my comments, there's always this men against women type of vibe. And you don't really see that in other cultures. You know, you don't really see Asian women going against Asian men, or constantly talking about how they don't need them, how I can do without them. Like you don't see that in other cultures, and I understand it. You know, so I don't buy into the rhetoric. You know, there are all kind of statistics and things that will say like to make it seem like black men don't want black women and ain't marrying black women, when that's false. Like the black men that are married, an overwhelming percentage of them are married to black women. You know, like, but those type of things don't get spoken about as often as you see the chaos, the dysfunction, the breakups, the single parenthood, the baby mama, baby daddy drama, and the poverty, because again, they're not working together. In the black community, we have a bunch of individuals for the most part focused on themselves or just them and their kids and trying to do what but in order to actually prosper, it takes teamwork. And the most basic unit of teamwork that we see in a family is a husband and wife, or if not husband and wife, at least two people that are committed to be life partners and are dedicated to building a life or raising a family together. So I mean, if you're not black, I guess it's normal that you probably wouldn't even take into consideration all the imagery in the media and movies and things of that nature that contribute to how black people view themselves. Um, but if you take a look back, it's just recently where we're starting to see black people in prosperous positions. Just 10, 20 years ago, it was rare, to see a black person that was successful or in a position to be able to hire other people or make decisions. Those things are relatively new. You know what I mean? And so um, the dynamic of the black family, I mean, for a lot of people, the Cosbys was the real last black family unit that kind of represented or gave people something to aspire towards that we saw. Or have there been other shows and other representations of the Obamas? You know what I'm saying? Like Barack becoming president, I think was a huge. The way that him and Michelle's relationship was, their family dynamic, I think that did a lot for black love and showing you that it's possible, showing you the type of things that you can achieve with a black woman by your side. So I think that went a long way to improving the image of the black family and in a black couple um, as a whole. But it's still hard to come by. We still see just as many breakups and just as many divorces. Uh, I would say we see more breakups and divorces than we see actual marriages. So these type of things are real. And then you gotta keep it real. Everybody don't want to see people happy. People that are bitter and angry about their dating situation or their past relationships, they the ones that hate. They the ones that throw shade and post rumors and do things to intentionally break up couples. Um, that shit is real. People that will go out of their way to try to break up a happy home because either they want what they see somebody else has, or they salty about that other person being happier than them, or and as messed up as that is, that's a reality. Hate is real, especially for the black couples. Um, because I mean I don't feel like I'm that popular. Um, I got some followers. I have a platform. I've been doing it consistently for a couple years. So I have a bigger following than average, but in comparison to what other people have, it's mine is really 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 small, and my shit is really 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 limited. You know what I mean? Like I don't reach hardly any of my audience nowadays, which is why I'm working to develop my own app and other things to be able to have more control over my content and who I'm reaching. So ultimately, I can help more people, have a bigger audience, and get my message to more people. So I think I talked about everything that I had in mind on this topic in regards to black love. So I will try to get to some questions. If there's anybody that would like to join this discussion to respond to something that I said or to add your perspective, I'd be more than happy to allow you to join. You can just hit the link. It's in the comment section. If you hit the StreamYard link, that should add you to the backstage area, and I'll be able to see you and add you to the broadcast. Or if you have a question, you can post your question in the comment section, and I'll be trying to I'll try to respond to some questions. So let's see what we got. Mary Rochelle, I'm glad you made it too, sis. Shout out Romaine Sanderson, Shanika Cherie. I appreciate the love. Let's see if we're gonna get any questions or we gonna get anybody want to join with your boy. Let's see. Did I have any other posts I want to talk about since I'm on here? Let me see. Oh, okay, yeah, this is a good one. So while I'm live, I wanted to talk about this post about the differences between why promiscuous behavior is viewed differently between men and women. Because I see women all the time saying stuff like, making it seem like they want to be hoes, but society just won't let them. as if they don't get to control who they have sex with or what they do with their bodies, which is false, by the way. But the reason that it's frowned upon or viewed negatively is because when a woman's promiscuous, it's a reflection on her decision making, how she evaluates men, how she makes the decision to put herself in a position to become intimate with a man. And that's largely based off the fact that most women don't have to put in any work to get sex from men. That's why women can charge men for it. Prostitution is one of the oldest professions in the world because women have learned to monetize the sexual desire that men have for them. So when we talking about a man being promiscuous, not a man that's just rich and famous and women are sleeping with him for money or because of his fame or because of his status. When we talking about a regular, everyday, average Joe that's able to consistently get attractive women to choose to have sex with him out of all her other options, that's usually a result of skill. That's not something that he just typically looks into. Obviously, looks play a role. How tall he is, how big his penis is, how, like how handsome he is. All those things come into play. But those ain't absolute things. Like there are fat, unattractive guys that can still be very successful with women by learning to study women and learning how to do the things that women like. And those are skills, because I define a skill as a talent or an ability that you can improve over time with repetition. And so being able to shoot your shot and effectively go from meeting a woman to being romantically or sexually involved with her, that is definitely a skill that some guys, well, I ain't gonna say I perfected it in high school, but I became very, very efficient at it. And so do other guys. It's very easy to do once you learn the formula and the routine it takes to get a woman comfortable enough to have sex with you. It's very, very duplicatable. And so that's why you have, even the bums, the deadbeats, and the F-boys are able to do it, even when they don't have the criteria that most women look for in a guy. So promiscuous behavior from a woman is never really a reflection of skill, since women don't have to do anything for sex. A woman can post, "Man, I'm so wet, I'm so horny. Who in Chicago could come give me some pipe?" And she's going to have dudes in her DMs that are willing and actually anxious or hoping that they can come give her some. Guys that are not famous, or unless you just super fine, or you know what I'm saying, you got women that follow you because you thirst trapping or something to that degree. Most guys don't have it like that though. Most guys have to actively put themselves in a position to meet the type of women that they like. Then they have to actually go about strategically shooting their shot and facilitating the things happen. It don't just fall in your lap like that for guys. Not all the time. Men have more success when they're around other guys that are handsome and attractive. The synergy that comes with a clique of men that are successful with women does make the clique stand out in the club, like they section, they group or whatever. So that can result in some, unexpected action or some unexpected sex coming your way. But for the most part, guys that are able to get it out the mud, even if they one-on-one, even if it's just them in a lane, even if it's just them with their cousin, like guys that are able to always find, attract, and shoot their shot at attractive women, those men pretty much perfect the dating process by the time they become adults. Do you have a mailing list? Yes and no. I have the list set up. I have it. It's just not completely set up. But that's something that I'm working on. Actually, I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but my job has really been a hindrance on me being able to get stuff done because of the hours that I have to work. But I'm in the process of trying to get a new job. So hopefully, if I get this local job, y'all will be able to see a lot more content from me. um, and I'll be able to take things a lot further. Because right now I'm always out of town, I'm always traveling, so it makes it difficult, you know, for me to do my podcast. Like I'm actually shocked that I'm able to do all the stuff that I do with my actual schedule and how hectic my actual life is. But no, I have a mail list. I have a list of all people that have purchased stuff from me before. So I have all their emails. I just gotta manually put it in together in my MailChimp's account. So I'll be starting to do um, email marketing relatively soon. So I got a bunch of stuff that I got coming. You know, just um, I'm not in a position yet where I have a staff. You know, my wife helps out from here, you know, here and there, but for the most part, I do all my content myself. You know, I studied TV production in school. So at my house, I got like a TV room, TV media set up, cameras, lights, and all that, speakers, microphones. But I don't really have the time to utilize a lot of it because I'm not even here a lot of the time. So if I can get this local job, which I feel very confident about, um, I'll be able to make a lot more stuff happen. So I'm excited. All right, y'all. I didn't see any other questions in the box. Didn't see anybody who wants to join, so it's all good. I'm gonna go on and end the broadcast. It'll be on my YouTube channel, so those of y'all that just joined in, y'all be able to watch it from the beginning. Make sure y'all hit like and subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Leave your comments. Let me know what y'all think. Um, I'll be trying to go live again relatively soon. I appreciate y'all tuning in.